Why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed? Get this over with.
Now that, my friends, has to be one of the most defiant, badass final lines in video game history. That moment, that line, it makes the scene. It slaps, it lands, it leaves a bruise. It tells you everything about who Joel is, even in his final moments. He looked Abby and her bitch-ass crew in the face and said, "F you." Now, let's just take a look real quick at that memorable line in the HBO version. Oh wait, it ain't there. The best line of dialogue from this entire scene, and possibly the game, is nowhere to be found in the show. And if that's not a giant middle finger to the fans of the game, then I don't know what is. Instead, we get this.
I have waited
Oh,
so...
just shut the f*** up and do it already.
I rest my case. This show. This episode is over. I'm out. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Hey everybody, my name is Chad Shifley and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's episode is a personal one for me, and if you're a fan of The Last of Us Part 2, the game, I think you'll feel me on this. We are diving into Season 2, Episode 2 of the HBO Adaptation. And let me just say it, this season officially solidified my disappointment with the show. HBO, in my opinion, absolutely botched it. And I don't even need to start with the obvious. The casting, in general, that's strike one. And it still blows my mind. Why do studios make these decisions? I get it, some people want to be edgy, some want to be unpredictable, but sometimes it feels like they're deliberately giving the fans the opposite of what they want. And it's not just the casting, it's the changes to the story, the little subtle details. There's so many changes so far, unnecessary changes. So let's be real for 1 second. I cannot and will never get over the casting of Bella Ramsey to play Ellie. It takes me out of the story every single time I see her on screen. Her performance is flat, it's uninspired, and lacks everything that made Ellie, Ellie. I'm sorry, but the casting is unforgivable and it's unacceptable. Pedro Pascal, he's okay, he's fine. I can live with it. But Bella, there's a special place in hell for whoever greenlit that decision. And if you're watching this video right now, then you. But anyway. Today's episode is focused specifically on Joel's death and why this scene, which was phenomenal in the game, completely falls flat in the HBO show. Let's rewind for a second. When The Last of Us Part 2 the game was about to drop, Naughty Dog and the marketing team did an amazing job at keeping Joel's death under wraps. We had no idea what the sequel would be about. One of the teasers even showed Ellie strumming her guitar and saying,
I'm gonna find... and I'm gonna kill... every last one of them.
And that line had me hooked from there. I was asking myself, who hurt Ellie, who is she hunting, and why is she so angry? They even threw in Joel's voice in the teaser, making it seem like he was still around.
You really gonna go through with this?
Smart misdirection. But then boom! Joel's murdered early in the game and we're forced to play as Abby, the one who killed him, for a large chunk of the game. It was very bizarre. It was bold, it was risky, but in the end, I think it paid off. I did love the game, I hated it at first, and I really wanted to continue that feeling, but in the end, it was phenomenal, it was amazing, loved every moment of it. Now back to the show. Let's break it down. The first major difference is that Tommy's not even there. In the game, he's with Joel when they meet Abby. In the show, he's conveniently back at the town, defending it in some stupid side plot that feels like nothing but filler. It's visually flashing, but ultimately it's pointless. Now back to Joel and Abby. Let's talk about the atmosphere here. In the game, the mood is ice cold. It's bleak. The room feels like a damn morgue. You're on the edge just looking at it. You know something awful is about to happen. But in the show, it speaks for itself. The lighting's flat. There's no tension. There's no mood. It looks like they forgot to finish setting up the scene. It's lazy, it's unmotivated, and worst of all, it's forgettable. In the game, when Abby shoots Joel in the leg, it's brutal. He screams. He's in agony. They pin him down. It's raw, visceral, and gut-wrenching. In the show, Joel's just reclining on the floor, like he's catching some sun. I've seen people look more uncomfortable on a couch. As a viewer, I felt nothing. Not because I didn't care about Joel, but because the scene just didn't earn the emotion. Now let's talk about Abby. Caitlin Dever, however you say it, doesn't matter. She's flat, just flat. Abby in the game was physically formidable. Her body told a story, one of obsession, of vengeance. She trained herself into a tank, a literal weapon. And in the show, we get some whiny petite little brat. There's no intimidation, there's no danger. Just a forgettable monologue delivered with the passion of a DMV clerk. And then, the moment. Joel's last words. In the game, Joel, bleeding out, leg destroyed, completely helpless, still fights back. He looks Abby in the eyes and he says,
Why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed? Get this over with.
Mic drop. Goosebumps. One of the most badass lines in video game history. I felt it. Everyone felt it. And what does the show do? They cut it. They cut the line. What? What the fuck? You had the perfect scene. It was already laid out for you. Let's just take a second to break it down. I like Pedro Pascal. Like, he's a good actor. I think he's okay as Joel. There obviously were better options out there. I don't know if he was just bored that day or he had a lot on his mind outside of filming, but he's just sitting there completely you know when you have a conversation with somebody and they completely just disconnect and they're like thinking about other things and they're not really listening to what you're saying? Like, this is him in this scene. He's sitting there going like, did I leave the stove on? Did I leave the coffee pot on this morning? I gotta make sure I pick up bread and eggs before I go home tonight to make dinner with the wife. He looks bored out of his mind. There's nothing there. Boredom, nothing but boredom. And then here we go. Here comes the epic failed line that they swapped out. Hey, you shut the up and do it already. I don't know who the writers are of this episode, but I will find you. And I will. By this part of the scene in the game, you're on the edge of your seat. The stakes are so high. The difference in the direction of the scene makes no sense to me. Like, you had it. It was already successful. It was already, the blueprint was already laid out for you. All you had to do is just take that and transition it into live action. Just shoot it as is. And instead they went this direction and it's fucking trash. And then Abby proceeds to just swat him in the leg with the golf club like a child. And then obviously I don't need to tell you that Bella Ramsey has no chops to take on this role. Still, up until this part, I feel nothing. Bored. I'm bored. See, the thing I can't wrap my head around is that in the game, when this scene happened, it was so emotional. I was devastated. I was stressed the out. This scene in the game was so hard to watch, and still is, even though I know what happens. Even when I've replayed the game multiple times, and this scene still kills me. I hate watching it. It gets me every single time, and this sucks. This is like the worst part. No. Get up, Joel. Oh no, the broken golf club. What is she gonna do with that? The broken golf club handle to the neck. What the like she's got a like a toothpick, like picking a little like mini hot dog off an hors d'oeuvre plate. The scene in the game, it's like the tension builds, it builds. She has the golf club, she grips it one last time. She's gonna deliver the final blow. The camera's on Ellie, you're stressed the out, and then she lays down one final hit, and you can hear his skull crack. And you know that was the death blow, and it's so unsettling. And instead we get this. Who wrote this scene? If you're watching this video, you. I'm out. Let's just take the line out, take out the best line of the scene, if not the game, and then instead of the devastating final blow to the skull, where it cracks his freaking head open, and he's done, what if we just stab him in the neck with a broken golf club? Did you pour the hole, motherfucker? Here we go. Yep, pull the golf club out of his neck. Love that. What is that, like a 9-iron pitching wedge? What do we got? Look, I could go on forever about how the show dropped the ball, but this scene, this moment, it was their chance to honor the game's legacy and make a bold, brutal statement. I was even excited about how they were going to do the scene. Instead, they gave us a watered-down imitation. The Last of Us Part 2, the game, gave us heartbreak, gave us intensity, and a reason to keep playing. The show just gave me, and I think gave us all, just disappointment. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, did this scene live up to your expectations? Were you let down? I sure was. Or am I just being too harsh? If you want more deep dives like this, don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and remember, some things are better left unadapted and untouched. Don't with My Last of Us. I will catch you in the next video. See ya.